everyone. Today I'm going to be doing another pattern review. I'm going to be making McCall's 5050 and I'll be making this view right here. I believe that's view B. So let me go ahead and so that view. So let's get started. Okay guys, these are all the pattern pieces we need. We have the sleeve, the back, and then the front, and then those two strips at the top. Number 4, which is the top one, is for the waistline, and number 5 is the bottom one, and it is the neckline. And y'all, they are the exact same size. So you only really need to cut one out. But anyway, these are all the pieces you need for that pattern up there. Okay, so I have a little bit of a problem. I don't have quite enough fabric to turn the sleeve the correct direction. It is supposed to be also going this way, just like the front and the back. But since this is a knit and it's 4-way stretch, so it has about equal stretch in both the directions, I went ahead and just turned it because it shouldn't make that huge of a difference with this particular fabric. If you were making something that only stretched, one direction instead of this way and this way, you might not be able to get away with this. And my print is pretty forgiving, so I feel pretty confident still doing this. I'm gonna have to fold this differently because this is supposed to be on the fold and that is supposed to be on the fold, and currently that edge is not. So I'm gonna have to cut this out a little differently, but I'll show you why. I just wanted to explain why this is not following the grain line like it's supposed to be. All right, time to stitch the front to the back. I went ahead and finished off my edges with serging off camera. Okay, so one thing that I don't like that I've noticed about patterns, commercial patterns like McCall's and Simplicities, is they just tell you to stitch the seams and they never tell you anything about how to finish off the edges. So I went ahead and just serged my edges. I should have serged them open, but I serged them closed, so whatever. So I just like to serge my edge and then press it to one side when I'm done, so that way it doesn't fray or fall apart later on down the line. Okay, this is the sleeve, and do make sure that you mark which side is the front and the back. 1 snip for the front and 2 snips for the back. And then you just take one sleeve and match it up at the underarm seam, which is right here. Right sides together and go stitch your seam. Okay, so this is the marking line, and we're going to take, well, you're going to take bias tape. I don't have any bias tape. So I'm going to take this and stitch this just like that all along that line, really close to the edge. And then this is going to form our casing for our elastic. And then this is going to go right inside of that. Okay, so we're right here at the end. So I'm going to fold that under. So it matches up nicely. Okay, so I've got my ribbon, or your bias tape, that's what it should be, sewn on, and now I have the elastic. And I left a little opening right here, just a small one, and I need to thread this through all of this. So I have a handy dandy threader here. I'm going to use this for the first time. Let's thread it like that, and then like that, and then I thread this through here. Okay, so after you go through and make sure that your elastic hasn't rolled or done anything, make sure it's straight, you can come in and stitch this together. And I like to switch this to a zigzag stitch when I do this. Okay, now we have our little opening, and we need to sew that shut. Alright, we take our sleeve, flip it right side out, identify which is the front and which is the back. So I have my two little notches here, so that means that this side is the back, and my one little notch here, so that side is the front. And there's the stitch seam line. And then I grab my shirt. Okay, and I went a little out of order. I was supposed to put the sleeve in before the waist tape, but it really doesn't matter for this. So that is the armhole, and these are my two little cuts again. So this is the back, 1, 2. So again, my back. Match the seam lines. Put a pin in it, and then match it up here, and then stitch all along this loop, and this will get pinned up here. So stitch all the way along that. So the sleeves are on. Okay, so my fabric doesn't press very well because it's knit, so I'm just gonna kind of freehand it. And this is making the casing on the sleeve. So I'm folding a little edge inside and then folding that over again to make a clean edge. And I still left a little spot to insert the elastic. So elastic, we're doing a comfortable wrist measurement. So that's pretty comfortable for me. Plus 1 inch. So right here, plus an inch. And I need to cut the other one the same length. So this is the shirt so far. Got the sleeves, and this is that big gaping neck opening. We're gonna go ahead and put some elastic in that and make it an actual neckline. So this top is completely done. Instead of doing the hem the way that they said, a double fold or a narrow hem, I just serged it and then turned it under and stitched it. It's easier. But it took me 4 hours. 3.5 to 4 hours is realistically what it took me start to finish to make that top.